Hello everyone, this is Red Dude. What did your friend do that accidentally turned you on? NSFW. He was driving and put his hand on my thigh to get my attention. He's now my fiancé. She sent me a Snapchat sitting in her car on a cold day, she blew gently out of her mouth to show her breath turning into fog and then kind of lightly smirked after I watched it on loop probably 100 times before it disappeared forever. Something about it was so cheeky or something. I don't know how to explain it, but it's burned into my brain. Held my hand after a long ride when we took a break because it was cold and rubbed it to make it warm. Holding hands to warm them up is the most adorable thing that exists. We had been drinking and she got distracted by the rips in my jeans and kept playing with the threads lightly scratching my knee and thigh. Girl. A few friends bailed on a Disneyland trip, so it was just this girl and myself, and for some reason we still went, drove together. We weren't close and one of my boys was into her at the time. Anyway, we were in line for Matterhorn, and if you know, that seating is front to back, not side by side. We couldn't each get our own car, so we had to sit together, her in front of me and between my legs, and if you know, Matterhorn is the bumpiest ride in Disneyland. Even my jeans couldn't hide it when she was bouncing up and down, in and out of my lap. The look she gave me over her shoulder with a smirk, I'll never forget it. Holy shit, this brought back a memory, haha. He tucked my hair behind my ears while I was working on a project and couldn't do it myself due to the materials. It was such a simple gesture, but it was so gentle, and we made direct eye contact when I saw his arm reach out. It was just so intimate. Unfortunately, we don't talk anymore, but I still think about that every now and then. It still makes me blush. I hope he's having a good day wherever he is. While driving, a friend saw my new tattoo on my arm getting a little dry mid-conversation. He just got the aquifer and applied a little bit to my arm. Felt like an absolute queen and still think about that intimacy. I have long hair for a guy. She asked if she could braid it. She messed up and ran her fingers through my hair to untangle it, maybe ran her hands through my hair a bit too much and said my hair was soft. Spent a full semester as a freshman in a pretty tight friend group, few girls, few guys, never had any tension or eye for any of them. At the end of semester, one of the girls invited a few of us to her room for a study session. Since she was lucky enough to not have a roommate, I arrived first, just when she was getting back from a team practice from some sport, I can't remember which. Before anyone else got there, without warning, she tears off her uniform down to sports bra and shorts so she can put on a clean tee and pants. Then she got straight into a book. I went a year without eyes for her, but that was close to the hottest anyone has ever looked to me. Back in college, I was at the sink in my room shaving. A friend of mine came in. Our front door was open all the time. She noticed where I was, came in to talk, and ended up watching me. We made eye contact in the mirror a couple times. Let me tell you, being that distracted while using a razor can be a dangerous thing. If you have any similar stories, feel free to share it with us in the comments. If you enjoy these type of videos, a press of a button would help out a lot. Doesn't matter which one, a simple like is enough, but a subscribe is even better. My friend offered to give me some pointers at the driving range so I would feel more comfortable at a work function. I had never swung a golf club in my life. After about 30 minutes trying to verbally describe what I was doing wrong and how to fix it, he finally put his hands on my hips and moved them correctly. I could tell he was very intentionally trying not to make it sexual, but sploosh anyway. I think a lot of guys don't understand how goddamn sexy it is when they act respectful like that. It just fucking puts thoughts into your head so easy. It's the palpable restraint. He was trying not to touch you, which meant he was thinking very much about touching you in order to avoid doing so. Yes, sploosh. Lol, I read Palpatine restraint, thought it was some Sith move. Had the same thing kinda happened to me. A close friend of mine came over one night to watch a movie. We were both exhausted from a long day and ended up passing out halfway through and cuddled a bit. Eventually she told me how much of a turn on it was that I basically planted my hand on her side and never moved elsewhere. It led to a lot more fun though. A friend of mine while in university asked me to take pictures of her smiling because she said she couldn't do it by herself without feeling weird. I said sure, but asked why me. She said she knew I could make her smile and laugh easier than anyone else she knew. Took about 20 pictures of her after cracking a few jokes to get her to laugh, and it was her laugh specifically that got my motor running. Had to cross my legs and just chat with her for a while before my erection went down. Still have the pictures on my old phone, I think. I was working and I couldn't reach the top shelf on my tiptoes without asking. He stretched up, just grabbed the item with full eye contact. I dunno, it was something hot about that. Looked up from her work very casually and smiled at me. No teeth, little side smile. Her smile reached her eyes. I said, "What?" absently, and she said, "Nothing, just enjoying you." Could have fallen in love right then. We were at work and he texted me from the other room, "Come." So when I came into the room I said, "What am I, a dog?" He said, "Good girl," and I had no idea I was into that. He totally picked up on how much it affected me. I plan to officially ask him out next week. His voice would get lower sexier whenever he relaxed and rambled about something he found interesting, could listen to that for hours and I have. We were being really sarcastic to each other and having a fake argument at work during a lunch break, then she leans in my face, with direct eye contact, in a low sultry voice said yeah, my name, fuck you, then let out a wry sideways smile, that did something for me. New kink unlocked. I don't know how to replicate it, but I still think about it to this day. Was complaining about my posture to my friend. She was like, oh, I learned this trick to help my posture, let me show you. And she grabbed me by the shoulders and lightly pushed me against the wall. Then she stepped back and said now walk forward while keeping your shoulders back or something. I don't remember, it only lasted a few seconds, but I swear I didn't breathe the whole time. I've heard from both my husband and a guy friend that girls pushing them against a wall was arousing, somehow. It kinda is to me as well when my husband holds me against a wall and presses his entire body against me. You've pushed against a wall with direct eye contact will give anyone the take me feeling. In context, of course. My boyfriend is about a foot taller than me, and in his kitchen, there's a shelf above the fridge he uses for a lot of his food that I fully cannot reach. Of course, I always try anyways. He likes to tell me to stay there, then he stands right behind me and boxes me in against the fridge while he grabs whatever I need. I swoon every time. After dinner we walked to the subway. We were laughing while going down the stairs. She said something to annoy me and jumped the last 2 steps. She turned around to laugh, and I melted. It was like a movie, almost slow motion. Me and my roommate at the time get along well with this one girl. One day she came to our apartment for some video gaming. It was getting late. My roommate had already gone to sleep. I was playing D-Rester and she was watching next to me. All of a sudden, she laid her head on my shoulder. I developed a major crush just from that. 8 years later, when I told her about that, she just said sheepishly that she was tired and there wasn't any intention. Sucked to be her, she's my wife now. Comparing heights. My friend and I often argued over who was taller. Our licenses listed the same height, but we insisted that we were actually slightly taller than the other. Often we would stand back to back and try to force our friends to declare the tallest, but consensus was never achieved. Once during a party at his place we ended up alone in the basement for a few minutes, jokingly arguing again about who was taller. We got in each other's faces playfully to compare heights, since no one was there to judge and just the playfulness and proximity gave me an electric zing that I wasn't expecting. We remained friends, attended college in different states, and it didn't come up until after I graduated and we got a chance to reconnect after a casual brunch turned into 24-hour-long date. He mentioned feeling that first zing all those years ago too. He proposed in October. Also we're still the same height, he's slightly taller, but I'll never admit it to him. I guess we will just have to keep comparing our heights forever. She wanted to tell me something in private, so she leaned over and whispered in my ear. Flag went to full attention because people whispering in touching my ears is a massive turn on. Thanks for watching, this was Red Dude. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to check out my other content.